Karl has been writing a book about knowledge, haven't you?
Yeah, I enjoyed doing this one.
What's it about?
Just learning stuff. You know, I didn't do that well at school and that, so I thought sometimes you need a reason to do stuff, don't you? And I thought, well, if I do a book about learning, I'll then learn stuff. So if no one buys it, it doesn't matter because
You've learned.
I've learned, so it's not been a waste of time. I haven't done it just for the sake of doing it. I've done it for my own benefit, and if people want to read it and enjoy it, then brilliant.
We've got some advanced pages here.
Yeah, I thought I'd dip into it and give you a flavour of the sort of things that have been concerning Karl, which begins with, time could have been invented a bit better, I thought to myself, while lying on my sun lounger in Menorca.
Time could have been invented a bit better.
Yeah.
How can it be improved? Does
Well,
he go on to explain
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Sure.
The invention of time, I wonder if it could have been designed better. People are always saying, oh, there just aren't enough hours in the day. But I say it all depends on where you are. In Menorca, the fact that the holiday rep asked if we'd like to go on an all-day trip to a leather factory tells me there are too many hours in a day here. You do specifically talk about how you would like to improve time.
Yeah.
So, time in the calendar. We have 12 months a year, 365 days, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 60 minutes to an hour, 60 seconds to a minute. All man-made, and it's never been changed. I decided I'd act as an inventor and give some thought to how a new time system should work best.
Right. Absolutely pointless.
This is Karl's proposal on how he'd change time. How he'd change time?
Yeah.
Just factor that in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that years are too long. 365 days should be taken down to about 200.
Right. Arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
And why are years too long?
Well, read on.
This will cheer people up, as birthdays and Christmases will come round sooner. It will also have the knock-on effect of making people live longer.
No, it won't.
News will become older quicker, and seeing as time is a great healer, things will be healed quicker. I'm not too worried about the seasons, as since global warming, the weather seems to do what it wants anyway. Each month will have 4 weeks, and I'd add an extra day to the week so that people work 6 and are off for 2. This would increase productivity, making up for the lost days in the shorter year. But people shouldn't moan, as their holidays will come round sooner.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. I love the fact that having saying there's 200 days in a year makes no difference to someone's life, right? They're 70 old years or 100 new years, whichever way you look at it. So have I lived longer? Of course you have. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. It's your birthday again. Well, how old am I now? You're 300. Am I? Yeah. He's actually 53.
Well, I don't think you've thought it through fully there. As he goes on to explain, criminals will be put off crime, as what was a 10-year sentence would now become an 18-year sentence.
Oh, God!
This would work the same way with ill people. When the doctor tells them they've only got 2 years to live, the new system would mean they've got 4 years.
That's amazing.
You've not grasped the concept that it's the same amount of time.
And the
People
day
would
is the
just-
same. So the day's the same length, okay?
Is the day the same length?
Well, why wouldn't it be? A
Do that.
day is a revolution of the Earth.
Yeah, but only because of, at the beginning of time, you had to rely on the sun and the moon. We don't these days.
Of course we do.
We don't, not really. I mean, plants do, but us as working people, look at us, we're in a basement here. I don't know what time it is out there.
How long's a day then? Or is the day the same length and you just start a year after 200
Well,
days?
I was thinking about starting the day earlier, but I thought it'd be too much to do it all
What do you
in
mean,
one go.
starting the day earlier?
Just starting the day. I mean, the day starts at midnight.
Yeah.
Why not start then? Why not get up and start then, and then you're fresh? It's a new day. Let's
So
move on.
so everyone gets up at midnight. So you haven't changed a thing. So just people just get up at midnight now. So you're just saying just get up at midnight.
Get up at midnight.
So it's total darkness for another 6 hours
So what?
at least.
People
Right.
get up and go to work
Yeah,
with a
okay.
fluorescent light on. What
So
difference does it make?
everyone's a milkman. Okay.
No, exactly.
What?
Exactly. When you get your milk, it's fresher. It hasn't been sat on a step for about 5 hours when you get up. When you have your lunch, you'll be having lunch at around
10 a.m.
yeah, around 10. So that's fresher.
No.
At the
You
moment,
have
you're
lunch
going
around 4 a.m.
You go into butty shops now. That butty's probably been made about 4 hours ago.
So you get up at midnight. You
This is
You have your
just-
breakfast.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
What do you do?
arguing.
Carl, it doesn't make any sense at all. That doesn't change. Or they just say you're just saying get up early. Get up in the middle
When
of
you
the night.
finish work, it'll still be nice and light. When you finish work at about what time will you finish work?
About 10 in the morning.
No, you won't. That's lunch. You'll be dead.
No, it's not. No. That's 10 hours so far. It worked a 10-hour day. If you get up at midnight, You finish work at 10 in the morning. What do you do then?
So you go to bed, you sleep during the daylight hours.
So what do you do? Do you go straight to bed or do you stay up from 10 a.m.?
Depends. If you're the sort of person who doesn't need as much sleep.
No. Everyone needs to.
No, they don't. My mum hardly has any. She has.
No, but say average. Say people want 8 hours sleep.
My mum would love to be able
So if they get up at midnight, so you go to bed at 4 in the afternoon. Everyone goes to bed at 4 in the afternoon.
Not everyone.
No, but approximately. Yeah, so everyone don't know that's like...
Everyone doesn't go to bed now at 11, do they? Some
But that's
people go at 3.
Exactly. So average. So a normal day, you get up at so what you're saying is midnight's about what 7 a.m. It's the new equivalent. So everything's 7 hours behind.
Well, why are you?
So you get up at midnight. You go to work at about 1 a.m.
So you're
have a bit of toast. Have a bit of toast.
I don't want change.
So you work. So working 1 to 5. What a way to make a living.
So
right, forget it then.
So you have your lunch. You have your lunch about 5 a.m. And then you work again till 10 a.m. You go bye. Night. Have a good morning. Cheers. It's pointless.
You just want people to all work at
night.
night.
Yeah, everyone works nights. That's what you're saying.
Make the streets safer. That's when most trouble that happen. If you've got loads of people knocking around at 2 in the morning, very little crime. Crime's not done in the day. When you go to bed at night.
Well, it is. Everyone's asleep. The streets are empty at midday. I can't believe my luck. It's a lovely sunny day. I'm going out burglaring.
But if you hear a noise and you look out the window, you'll see him. You'll go, "What are you doing?" You'll go, "Oh God, I've been captured. This never used to happen. I hate this new time."
Damn, Karl Pilkington.
Where everything you say, there's an argument, and if you don't like it, fair enough.
Right. Okay.
You know what's that famous saying? You can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please everyone all the time.
Right.
So let's change the time.
Why? Just don't bother. Leave it as it is.
Order your copy of Karlology by Karl Pilkington at play.com now and visit rickygervais.com for news of Series 5 of The Ricky Gervais Show.
Rick, in case there are people who've bought this and they've not really heard Karl before, remember we were talking a while back about the questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actors Studio?
Oh, yeah.
Where the host, James Lipton, always asks the same questions to every guest. And it's just supposed to sort of, get their creative, juices flowing, their mind working. We did ask Karl some of them. We never completed the questionnaire.
Oh, let's
I thought I'd fire a few more at him.
And that'll also introduce people to the way his mind works a little bit. Okay.
Question 6. What sound or noise do you love, Karl?
There isn't really one that I love. Nice noises, like the ones you get. Like I like going in the park, right? And you go, "Oh, that's nice, isn't it?" And you get like bird noises and stuff.
Give me your fucking wallet.
But then like
things like nice noises like that, and
but
you fucking cunt! Why did you fucking sleep with her? It's lovely in the park, isn't it?
But with those bird noises comes a bit of stress, right? Because I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought, that's odd, that's out early, right? Because it's like sort of summertime and that.
Sure. And
then I thought, oh, that's nice, and I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right? And I was like, hey, put it down, right?
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean? Why are you interfering? Why were you interfering
in nature
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go, what's going on? And they come up to see what's happening.
What? No, wait, but why do they come up when they think it's raining?
Because they're hearing, like, knocking on their land, and they're going, who's that? And they come up.
Sorry, wait a minute. But why do you think they come up when it's raining?
Because they're hearing the noise of the
Yes,
rain.
but they know what it is. What am I doing? Why am I talking like him? Of course they don't know what it is. Look.
Can worms hear stuff?
Yeah.
Well, they got. You don't know anything, Karl.
But I assume they can sense vibrations and so on, but they can't hear in the way we hear.
No,
they don't have ears, do they?
Of course they can't.
Well, whatever, right? So all I'm saying is that.
But what was this thing about these worms? They hear the tapping and go, oh, what's that? Right, tell us. Okay, so start. You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just you're down there. You can't see anything. It's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So
and you
hear
haven't got
about
eyes.
this, don't you? You hear about blind people have got really good ears. And it's
No.
the same with a word. No, they do. It's an extra sense. They
No,
say,
it's not. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. They start getting used to relying on them more, but it doesn't. So you don't turn into bionic woman because you lose your eyes.
No, but you do, because you use them more. If you use something a lot, you get better at it. So their ears are good. So all I'm saying is, so this rain's coming down.
I don't know who to believe here, Rick.
The rain's coming down on the land. The worm goes, "What's going on?"
The worm goes, "What's going on?"
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about the.
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, "Oh, it's just rain again"? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time. I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
It's not thinking. It's not choosing its favourite food.
But you don't know that. It's the same way you're saying to me, I don't know what a worm's thinking. You don't know what it's thinking.
I know it's not thinking.
You don't know that, though, is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, the thinking.
There's something in this room that's not.
All right. What about this one then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
A mind.
a feeling? Because here's something that
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and
All right,
open.
well,
Can you stop using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen. Do you know I've been to my mum and dad's? Right. I was talking to my mum about stuff,
All right.
and she was saying how this flower solved a crime. What happened was there was a murder, right, in an office. So they said it's obvious that someone who works in the office did this murder because that person's only a sort of a typist. He has, they've done nothing wrong. So they said that's narrowed it down, right? So this flower man came in, and he said, "I can sort this out for you." So they said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, during the murder, the plant was knocked off the cabinet,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And he had some special wires that he can put on
Special
the
wires,
flower,
yeah.
on the flower, and it's sort of shaking and stuff. Because even though you can't see it, flowers pick up bad vibes and what have you. If you shake a plant, it doesn't like it.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was, he said, "Right, what we'll do, we'll put the plant back on the shelf.
Yep.
We'll water it. We'll calm it down. Then get
Get a nice cup of tea.
every member of staff
Right.
to come in the room
Yeah.
and just go near the flower.
Right.
So don't tell them.
So like a lineup for the flower.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Kind of like a
Yeah.
lineup.
But
But
sure.
don't tell them what we're doing. Just send them in
No.
and say, stand by that cabinet where the
Yeah.
murder happened and what have you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a long day. They were getting through a lot of stuff. It was a big office block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going, this isn't working. The flower's not budging.
Mm.
Suddenly, they get into like the last part of the day when they were almost giving up.
They call in a sketch artist. The plant gives them a.
Some caretaker fella
Caretaker. Yeah.
said, go over there.
Was it?
You
Was
know,
it an
so-
old man that? I mean, because Scooby-Doo didn't like him from the beginning.
No.
So is that why is that janitor so evil?
They send the caretaker over to the plant. He's going, he's thinking, I've got away with this.
Of course.
Plant starts shaking, what have you. They did him.
Okay, wait a minute then. So was there any other evidence?
Was that the only evidence they used in the trial?
Well, no, it's one of them things, though. Imagine it, if you're that caretaker and you're thinking, I've got away with this, then suddenly a plant grasses you up. You weren't expecting that. So suddenly you're off guard.
And you go, okay, can't get that chrysanthemum away from me, I did it. You're talking absolute bollocks. That was one of the most nonsense pieces of shit I've ever heard
But
in my
anyway,
life.
listen, well, it happened, but...
It didn't
not because you
happen.
said it. But what I was saying is, about the worm, right, the worm that I saw, and like I say, it was a sunny day. I thought, what's that doing up here, and what have you. So, anyway, this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought, it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break, sort of thing. So I went, oh, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then, when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, oh... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like. And yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a worm!
But it just swallowed it really quickly and that, and I thought, that's life, isn't it? That's what life is like. 1 minute it's there, then it's not. I just thought, there's the worm. It came out. It was happy. It didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance. The robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it. And I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. You
People-
put it off, but then it won.
But
That's the terrible thing, isn't it? The worm was going, oh God, Karl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it God? You've sent Karl Pilkington, oh, I'm dead. That's it, okay, eat me.
but all I'm saying is our bird noises are normally quite relaxing, but not for the worm.
Unbelievable. That was one question.
Here's
What a
another
load of
one.
bollocks this
This
is.
is extraordinary,
No,
Tribble.
but listen to this. Listen to this. This is
Right.
a good one. and
Oh,
I'd
this
like
will
to see
convince
you
us, this one.
Yeah, this way, okay.
Answer this.
This will be proof. Go on.
I watched the programme the other week about dead people.
Of course you did.
Right, and it was people who had been found in their house. You know, they haven't got any family. They died, sat in their armchair. Nobody's knocking on the door, ringing them and checking if they're all right.
Yeah.
Right, so they die and they rot away in the chair.
No.
People, you know, the next door neighbour called up whoever you call up for dead people and go, "There's a dead body next door. It's stinking. Can you come and get rid of it?" Right? They go in.
I
And
forget what service that is.
I don't know where you find that in the Yellow Pages.
It's a good business, though, isn't it?
Hello, corpse removal.
Stinky dead people.
so they go in. There's flies everywhere.
Of course there is, yeah.
The doors and the windows are shut. Where are them flies from?
What do you mean?
Do you know that thing, reincarnation?
Yeah.
I think there it is. There's an example of it. How there was no flies in there. A body rots
Yeah.
away. Out of the body comes flies. So you live
Yes. Or, out of the body comes flies from the maggots that were in the body.
on. Well, okay, maggot then. So we've gone on. We've lived on.
What do you mean?
I'm just
the
saying
fly
how it
isn't
lives
a
on.
reincarnation of the maggot. The maggot is the larval stage of the fly.
No, but forget all the maggot fly.
Right.
Think about going from man to a fly.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying the windows and the doors on this house was shut.
Yeah.
Shut tight.
Now,
no
your question
flies
is-
had got in. They hadn't got in.
They
And
had got in.
They hadn't.
They're already there. We're surrounded by them. We've probably got fly eggs on us now.
Well, all I'm saying is, it's weird that them flies were in there when they weren't in there. I don't think this fella would have had loads of fly eggs on him.
But
I just
only
think it's a
takes
bit odd.
Why? What do you mean?
I just think there was loads of them. You didn't see it.
But it only takes one fly to lay loads of eggs.
Yeah, but
So you think it's wiser to ignore Ricky's answer and go with your ghostly supernatural reincarnation one? You think that's the wise, sensible way to go?
I
in
just
this?
think it's a bit odd how every time someone's got fly eggs on them.
So
Because everybody-
that to you is less of a chance of happening than when you die. Some of you turns into flies, fly parts.
Well, that happened when my dad chucked a turkey away in a bin. And it was only in there for about a day. I went to go and put, like, a crisp packet in the bin at the end of the garden and what have
Yeah.
you. Picked the lid off, full of flies.
Yeah.
Now, the bin lid, the bin lid, yeah.
It's like a constant fight with his own brain.
was fairly sealed and what have you.
Yeah.
Again, it's a turkey living on.
No, it's not.
We're
It's
all
the
the
fact that
same.
while it was out on the table.
It hadn't been out on the table. We didn't eat it in the end because it had feathers on it. My mum said, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah, but what do you mean? It had feathers on it.
My dad got it off a mate and said, "Yeah, I've got this for Christmas," but it was
Yeah.
still virtually alive. And my mum said, "Oh, just get one from the supermarket." So we put it in the bin.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is,
I'm telling you, the eggs were already on it, mate.
it's just an idea I've had. It's a theory. Everyone's allowed one.
But it's bollocks.
Back to the Inside the Actors Studio questions. Question 9. What profession, Karl, would you not like to do?
You see, in a way, some bad jobs are good jobs in a way. Because, one, it means that when you have holiday, you really appreciate it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, you see, I always thought, like, when I had a job where I used to have to do, like, 4 hours a night when I worked through the night, I only had 4 hours to do from 2 in the morning till 6, right? But it meant that when I was on holiday, I never really appreciated it, because between 2 and 6, I'd be asleep anyway. So, unless I got up at 2 in the morning and went, I'm relaxing now, instead of working, you don't get the full.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. The rules that you live by about what you can enjoy and what you can't.
What's good with a holiday, right? If you work in a factory from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, packing socks into a rubber bag, right? Between 8 and what time did I say my shift was?
8 and 8. It's a 12-hour sock packing job. It is murder.
I also like socks into a rubber bag.
Yeah.
I love to get my socks in a rubber bag. And also, he forgot the timings immediately. He said the sentence, then it went out of his head. It's like, so if you're packing, from 8, what time did I say it was? What are they packing?
So, alright, so you're a sock stuffer, you do a 12-hour shift.
Yeah. Okay, go on. So, you go, oh, come on, Rita, no more socks for me. I don't want to see another sock for a week. Have you got the rubber bag? Don't bring the rubber bag. That's the last thing I want to see.
So what I mean is, when you're on the beach, right, by the sea, between 8 and 8, you're thinking, oh, this time yesterday I was packing socks in a rubber bag. And you can really enjoy it. You can keep going. Oh, an hour later you can go, oh, I was packing socks yesterday.
Yeah.
And you can
I'm glad you're enjoying it, love. Will you stop going about the fucking socks? We're on holiday.
I don't think this marriage is going to last.
Oh, look, Rita, I know, you were packing fucking socks yesterday. Let's not fucking talk about it for a week, you boring bastard. Oh, Rita, what? This time I know, you were packing fucking socks in a rubber hunting bag.
No, I was having lunch at this time, you fucking slut.
Oh, Christ almighty.
So what I was saying is, when I was working from 2 in the morning till 6. To really enjoy being off from there, if I was on holiday,
you'd have to get up in the middle of the night
to go, oh, this time yesterday I was playing.
Surely the joy is not having to get up in the middle of the night. Then when you get up and thought, God, thank God I didn't have to get up in the middle of the night like I usually do. I slept through like a normal person. Surely that's the joy.
I think the joy is going, oh, I'm normally doing this at this time.
But that's ridiculous, because if you worked, right, till 6 AM, you presumably went to bed and slept in till sort of 3 in the afternoon or something, yeah? So you'd be up at 10 AM going, wow, usually I'm asleep, so you get it then. So you're talking shit again.
And the final question from the Inside the Actors Studio questionnaire. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Is that how it works?
Oh.
No,
what do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't know. You hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates. I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns the place, what's he doing there? He could put anyone on it.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
Okay, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No, you go through the gate, Peter goes, oh, you expected, he's got an appointment, we're going through the God. You go through the God, you go through a few doors, go up the top floor, right, past the executive washroom, into his big office, okay, that overlooks the universe.
And God says, why have you got a doctor with his finger up your arse?
And you go, well, you should know, you caused it.
So what?
So you've gone in to see God, it's an audience with God, you've died, you've gone to heaven, and what would you like God to say to you at that point? He might offer you great wisdom, he might ask you a question, he might tell you something. What would you like him to say?
And is this just one visit? This is like, because it's my first day.
Yeah, it's your first day,
with him,
you get a chat with him, yeah.
But after that, I don't.
Well, you might bump into him at the odd, the
Christmas party,
the AGM.
But I'm not going to be myself, am I? I'm going to be in shock a little bit, because it's like, I mean, I'm not comfortable on the first day of holiday, because you're in different surroundings, the hotel, you've got to get used to where everything is.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get the best out of me.
Well,
to be
no,
honest.
but you have eternal bliss.
Yeah, he's got a long time to get to know you, and he knows everything anyway, so don't worry about it.
So what does he see me then?
What would you want God to say to you? So you walk in there, you're happy with it because you understand now you're dead and it's a whole new world and everything's alright, you feel great. Like, what am I saying?
Well, anyway,
I'm going along with this drivel.
Yes.
What would you like God to say to you?
Alright.
Probably just say, you've done well and that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout. here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like.
I love this. This is a great answer. And my favourite one is you never did anyone any harm. That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's giving you a little map of the area. It's
and
big.
he'll sort of say, this is where you go for this is where you go for that. I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that. I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit, a little bit...
Bit cagey.
Yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away.
He doesn't even want to.
No, but because the thing is, if you've done I've done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life and meeting different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? It's just
Yeah.
like the same all over again, but everywhere's white.
So who's the worst person? You go to heaven and it's all great, and God goes, oh look, and here's so and so, and you go, oh, I don't know, what's he doing here?
Yeah. But why would he be introducing me to that one?
No, I'm saying who's the worst person you'd like to see? And
Who
they
do
go,
you just not want to encounter in heaven?
What if he said, right, Karl, you're in heaven, but we've got to teach you a lesson. You're a bit cruel to freaks. Here's Pillow Man. Here's the three-legged juggler. Here's the Elephant Man. They got a few questions.
Yeah,
Elephant
that'd be alright. That'd be
Elephant
fair
Man
enough.
goes, why did you talk about me like that?
I'd say I never had a go at you.
Why did you talk about me eating buns?
But then I'd get a bit annoyed with God. I'd turn Elephant Man onto God. I'd say, well, hang on a minute. At least when he put his head down on that pillar and he did himself in, he did that because he was sick of life. You've brought him up here. He's still got the head. Why didn't you give him a better head whilst he was up here in his next life?
Well, he could say the same to you.
Heaven's beginning to sound like one of the worst drink stews ever. It's awful. Everyone's sort of making kind of snipey comments, and you're having to make conversation with people you don't really want to talk to.
Yeah, it is.
God, I'm not sure God's the best host.
I mean, I don't know if it is like
Do you
this.
think
I'm
God
just-
would like this podcast?
Well, I suppose it just kills half an hour, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but time's not a problem for him, is it?
Yeah, it is, because he lives for ages, so he needs loads of filler. I bet he's, doing stuff that he's just like, I'm not really into this, but it's something to do, isn't it?
Sudoku and stuff.
I love the idea God's bored.
Yeah.
There's a lot to keep him going. Oh, God.
Playing solitaire on the computer.
I know, yeah.
But I think there'll be just as many problems up there as there is here, because at least people are leaving here, whereas up there, that's the thing that I'd be worried about the most, actually, that it's really crowded. Because it's years and years of dead people, isn't it? London does me head in. Up there, it's going to be well busier than that.
And what are you? So you're presumably all naked.
Why has that happened?
Well, because he didn't want Adam and Eve to put clothes on, did he? He was annoyed at the snake and everything, and Eve. So you're all back to nature. You're all naked. So you're all walking around naked, right?
Yeah. But
So you're up there. You're up there just naked, talking to Graham Norton and stuff like that.
I'd have to get used to that. If I go up there and he goes, right, you're welcome to heaven and that, and I go, all right, I've made it to heaven. He goes, yeah. Right, put your clothes in the bin bag.
No, you're up there. You're already naked.
Right,
You
I'd
just-
go. Well, I'd say this is a bit odd.
Why? You wouldn't worry about it, though, would you?
Yeah, but it's just odd, isn't it? It's something different, and something different.
Well, no, you've been naked before. You've been naked before.
Yeah, but I don't roam about with people around me.
They're not
naked.
people.
You'd have to get used to
They're
that.
heavenly creatures.
No, but I'd say, look, can you just leave me for like 4 days just to get used to this idea?
4 days. Okay.
4 days, just to get used to wandering about, and I'd be in my house, and I'd sort
What
of look
house?
out. The house that I'm living in.
Well, you don't live in a house in heaven. You just wander
Why?
around on clouds, don't you? All naked and just.
Oh, it's getting worse. I don't think it's that good. It's not fair though, because all them lot have been up there ages with like a chance to get a bit of sun on the body and that, so they'll look alright. I'll be wandering about with like underpant marks and stuff.
Underpant marks! Hello, readers of Shortlist magazine. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
we've been asked to do a little free podcast, a sample of our wares for Shortlist magazine. It's a new kid on the block. It's taken England by storm, I think. Well, how can I describe it? It's aimed at men. It's free every week. News, sport, TV, cars, movies, style. Now, obviously, the reason we're doing this, Karl, Steve, is that maybe some of these readers will go to iTunes and download one of our record-breaking, world-beating audiobooks. I'm worried, though.
Go on.
They get everything for free. The magazine's free. They go to the website free. Why are they suddenly going to pay, $1.95 to hear an hour's drivel? It's a problem, isn't it?
It is a worry, actually.
I know what we do. We sucker them in with a list, the greatest list they've ever heard.
Okay, well, these are okay, ambitious. I mean, bear in mind these people are stingy.
Yeah,
Cheap.
but they love lists.
Well, this is it. On the one hand, they love lists.
Yeah.
That's why they read Shortlist magazine. That's why they go to the website.
They love lists.
But on the other hand, they love free stuff.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what. We're given this for free, and it'd be a lovely list. And they go, "Oh my god, I don't usually like paying, but there might be other lists on the audio." Oh, there's loads of lists on our audiobooks.
There's heaps of lists.
Karl, let's give them a list. Top 5 something. What are you interested in? Are you interested in news, sport, TV, cars, movies, style?
Not enough to make a list out of it. I'm not into lists.
Okay.
You're not into lists.
You're not
Great.
into lists.
We were
We're
banking
in
on
the
you.
wrong place here. Come on, there must be... What inflames you? What interests you? What could you... If I said, right, quick, you've got to come up with top 5 things, what would it be?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I call one of them and said, good news, you're at number 1, because you've got 4 legs or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, then, this is the exclusive Ricky Gervais guide to Shortlist magazine, Karl Pilkington Top 5 Freaks, in at number 5.
So you've got to work backwards, haven't you? I've got to know what my number 1 is.
I think you
say
do work
number 5.
backwards.
Probably something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And he, what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle
What are
in
you
it.
talking about? Where is the
I
hole?
bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know. It's just what he got nicknamed because he had this hole. Doctors were like, "There's nothing we can do. Can't fill it." He thought, "What can I do with it?" And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle.
Right.
So hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for you.
candle holder here. Stuck a candle in it. And he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
Didn't he have, like, wax dripping on his head?
No, because it all went into the hole. So in
What?
a way, it was filled in. By
What
the
do you
end of
mean?
the
It
day-
wasn't a hole, though. It was a dip, surely.
No, a big hole.
Yeah, but not a hole through the skull with wax dripping on the brain.
No, just a really big hole in his head, but it had skin.
Like a golf hole.
Yeah, I suppose a golf hole's a good way of looking at
Perfect
it.
for a candle, basically. And
Yeah.
then the drippage went
Went
into
into the hole.
Yeah.
Candle sort of stood up straight.
Yeah,
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
that's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'll have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
He's a lighthouse man. What did you see? What
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I
better
forgot
description
about
do you
that.
need than the lighthouse man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Now, pig-faced woman of Manchester Square, is that someone you knew growing up?
No, it's a square in London,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's just this woman who had a face like a pig, and the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what
Oh, God!
that's what
Was
I've
this
heard.
someone? Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
did you
no,
just read about?
this is going back.
This is years ago.
This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus.
Lexington, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole. They don't do these side
Or
shows.
working with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on the world's #1 audiobook. Great. Number 3?
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
He's the one who got me into it.
Right, yeah, sure. He's a sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him though? What? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you? He always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that one, didn't he? So,
Very stylish.
so yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man number 3. I can't wait for
Blimey,
2 and
yeah.
1. Right, okay, number
Well, I
2.
know what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. He's got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's nowhere to start. Do you
I
think
don't know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What do you
I
mean
think
he
it's
doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip. When he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because I mean, you know,
Yeah, he can't use a Y front.
right?
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So he pops his kecks down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like.
Well, I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but it didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal. Take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why? I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with 2 knobs standing there with his pants on, and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, say if I'm waiting in a cubicle and he's there.
For what?
Sorry, you're waiting in the cubicle and he comes in.
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle.
Oh,
He's
in the
taking 2
toilet.
urinals up and going,
Right.
hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
Oh, and then
have a look at this.
right.
He's got 2 knobs.
See, I didn't see him at 2 urinals. I saw him at 1, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, and say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say. All right, Karl, I can't wait to go back to your place.
Oh, maybe we should end up sort of like a boyfriend and girlfriend and live together for the rest of our lives. You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had like hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
If you want to hear more of this kind of intellectual discussion, then download our audios. Anyway, we need to get to number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man. What else do you need to know?
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've
And
seen
not
this.
fully lit. He'd buy like Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
He had a
rolls
shave
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he
Do
have
you
a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus.
It's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did, because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an alright looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just
sorry?
That he had no, his head, he looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's odd though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's not. You say it looks cool, to, you know, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah, remember he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't really a freak, is it? She should have had a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman. Compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, you haven't... Get out! But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, you know, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit. You're going to get a bit. So... Yeah, he had kids, and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his
and
wife
everything.
had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
for someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it?
Yeah.
I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. I mean, to have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number one position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, you know, how you know, whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh. Well, if you've enjoyed this free exclusive podcast for Shortlist magazine, we've got quite a back catalogue now, haven't we, Karl? We've got 5 series of The Ricky Gervais Show on iTunes to download under audiobooks. We're halfway through our latest series, The Ricky Gervais Guide to. There's medicine, there's natural history, there's the arts out now and coming soon, The Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy. Now, me and Steve are a couple of big shots. We do this for a laugh, but this is Karl Pilkington's only source of income. This is what you do now, isn't it?
This is my full-time job, yeah.
What do you think of that?
It depresses me.
Why?
This isn't what I ever wanted. Because I haven't got a purpose, have I? I'm sat here talking about the Pillow Man. If it weren't for him, I'd have nothing to say. It just depresses me. That I just wish I had a job where I felt like I was needed. And I don't feel needed. It's not a proper job.
We need you.
We
need you for money for old rope.
I know, but this isn't. I wanted something that, you know, when you die and that, if it's, you know, you get up to the gates or whatever, and they say, "What have you done?" And then I'm looking worried, thinking, "Is the Pillow Man about?"
Karl, though, look, we've taken the internet by storm.
Yeah, but there's loads of people who've done that.
All right, let's not bring it down. We've had a lovely time. Thank you, the readers of Shortlist. Download our audiobook. Karl needs you.
Add a look online to see what's been going on. Scientists say that Everest, brackets, the mountain, just in case you've confused that with any other Everests.
Maybe the double glazing people.
Yeah. Scientists say that Everest has grown a bit. The way they were talking about it, you'd have thought it's grown loads. It's only inches.
No, isn't that... They found out that it's actually a couple of inches taller than they first thought because their methods of measuring are more accurate than they were 20 years ago. So it's bigger than they thought it was. It hasn't grown.
No, I just think what's happened is at the bottom, because of like people are always climbing up it, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
So they're sort of wearing away the soil at the bottom.
Talk rubbish.
So
it's also
pushed it down.
it's also measured against sea level. It's not measured about when you get. Otherwise, they'd just dig a big hole, wouldn't they, and go right. It's down to here. If the peak is measured against sea level,
does it matter at the end of the day?
No, but it's just nice to know, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is we don't need to know that. It's not going to put anyone off. Like Brian Blessed, who's always climbing up there for fun. He's not going to go, "Oh, I could handle it last year, but 2 more inches. Forget that. Going to be shattered." So don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how big it is. Something else though that's happened since, right? They were climbing up there, and someone got near the top, and they were sort of climbing up like that, holding the cliff edge and that.
And they'd forgotten the flag. Had to go back.
No, their hand hit the bit of rock, and it went like ding. I'm like, what's that? It went, ding, ding. Put another hand up, ding, ding. Piano under there. They don't know how it's got there.
Right, you're talking shit again.
Someone's been tipping.
Well, oh, right.
Up Everest.
Okay. The council won't even take away your washing machine unless you pay them. They're not going to sneak up Everest.
No, this is the problem, innit? Because the council won't take anything. People are going, what can we do with this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, yeah. Just sneak up Everest. It'll take you 9 days, and you may die. But just pop it up on Everest.
Well, I know for a fact that you've confused a few things there, because I think the piano being found was actually somewhere in Scotland, some kind of moor in Scotland, and they found a piano up there, and everyone said, I don't understand, how's the piano doing up here? And it turned out that some guy, one of these people who like tries to break world records, had dragged a piano up there as some kind of feat of endurance, but thought, I'll be damned if I'm going to take it back again, and just left it up there. It wasn't, bloody tipping or aliens or anything.
My dad used to bury things in the garden because the council used to charge for like washing machines and mangles and cookers and pets. So I'm just thinking in millions of years when they dig that up, they think that dogs used to cook and do washing up and things.
Yeah.
I love the idea of burying utensils. And think of the hole big enough to bury a washing machine.
Or a mango. So whoever kind of bought that house after your dad,
I don't know.
they got a little treating store.
Yeah, lovely little themed rockery.
Yeah. The weather is weird this morning. 1 minute it's sunny, then it's thundering, then hailstones, then it's sunny again. People will be saying it's global warming. I don't really know what that means. Everything's changing all the time, innit? I wonder if years ago, when we first came out of the sea and we walked on land upright, did people blame the weather for that?
Good point.
No, it's so stupid.
Yeah, ridiculous.
We didn't come out of the sea and instantly start walking around like humans and go, oh, can you believe it? We were swimming around, we were having a whale of a time. Do you know what? I blame the weather.
No, but now they would, if that happened. It's the same way, say like evolution, right? We talk about it a lot, right? Now, years ago, I don't know how it happened, but some whale had legs, right?
Yeah.
This is how it started.
Before he was a whale, yeah. Whales started off with legs,
They
that's
were rowing
right.
about on the beachfront, right? Anyway, it worked out that, they didn't like it or whatever, get back in. Now, say, if that happened again now, right? Say if someone's born and they always say, don't they, check for lumps and stuff, right? Make sure you haven't got any lumps. Now, say
sorry, who says this and what's the...
like magazines and doctors and that, they're always saying, check for
when you're
lumps.
first born?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
arbitrary decision, that answer.
But
Go on.
all I mean is, now, say if like our evolution thing is kind of like the next level is for us to have 3 legs because we're that busy on the world now.
But it
Everyone's
doesn't work like that.
multitasking.
Why would it work like that?
Because that's nature, innit? It deals with it. If people are getting stressed out and getting achy legs a lot, because they're going, well, what you're doing there is you're using 2 legs like you've got 3. You need another one. But the problem is,
No.
say
finish.
Say if someone grew a leg now, because it's like, well, we need 3 legs.
Yeah, but...
Let him finish.
Okay.
People would go, oh, I found a lump, right? And the doctor would go, oh, whip that out. Now that could be a 3rd leg that's growing.
But Karl, evolution doesn't work like that.
It does work
Suddenly
like that.
something isn't born with a perfectly formed 3rd leg that can be passed on.
I know it's a lump. It starts off like a lump, and if you left it alone, it would eventually, over a bit of time...
No, over many, many millions of years.
Yeah, but it'd grow as another leg, but we're not letting that happen anymore.
It also wouldn't happen. Limbs don't work like that either.
They do if you keep putting extra pressure on 2 legs.
Karl, you're honestly, what you imagine the process of evolution and natural selection to be is, it's beyond me. It's incredible.
But it depends whatever your surroundings are. That's what you change to, isn't it? Like the.
Well, you don't change to it. You're either selected or you're not. So, what happens is there's a genetic throw up. So something's born, a llama's born with a slightly longer neck. And if that gets, the leaves that are slightly higher up and it survives, it lives longer, it passes on its genetic material. Soon, if that works, now over millions and millions of years, that they're the dominant species, a new species is thrown up with a slightly longer neck, and so on and so on, and it's gradual. Just a slight advantage.
Sometimes it happens quicker than that. There's been animals that have had eyes and then they go, they don't need them, they go in the space of a fortnight.
What? No, what are you talking about?
There's a lizard somewhere where it's roaming about in the dark and it used to have eyes, and they used to be like, why have we got eyes and that? What's the point in having these? Because we're keeping them open. And they were getting more tired. Because at the end of the day, if your eyes are open, do you know what I mean? Blind people can stay up longer than someone with eyes.
Keep going. I want to follow this through to its natural conclusion. Keep going. Keep going.
There is nothing to do. Right.
Right. The first signs of you getting tired, you go, "Oh, my eyes, I can hardly keep them open."
Yeah.
So a blind person doesn't get that because they can roam about with them shut like that.
So they never sleep, do they, blind people?
Well, they sleep, but they don't need as much because their eyes aren't stinging.
All guessing, all guesswork, and all nonsense. I mean, all nonsense.
But hang on, fair enough. Okay, even if we accept that to be true of blind people, what was happening with the lizards? The lizards were going, I can't believe this is mad. We don't need our eyes. We're down underground. What's the point? Jeff, Bill, let's just no longer use eyes.
Well, they were just like, in a way, it's better if we keep our eyes shut to keep the soil out and stuff. And then over time, they were like, oh, my eyes are stuck. Like the time when...
For a fortnight, you said?
No. It's over hundreds of millions of years. And the other thing is, it's not the case that there's no will to evolution. What happened was that a blind one had no disadvantage, so he was selected better than one with eyes that maybe would find it irritating or getting in the way. You know, just like a snake, it's not a disadvantage for a snake to lose its legs because it's selected, and then it's an advantage because they can get into places that where legs would get in the way.
Like I've said before, right? You see like a little fella, like a midget or a dwarf or something.
Right.
Who's to say that isn't the way we should be?
Do you mean, how do we know that...
Well, everybody looks at them and goes, oh, look, little fella. But really, it doesn't matter. If we were all like that, the world would be a better place because it's bigger, so there's more to see. Whereas for us, we're getting bigger all the time. The world isn't growing, so there's less to see for us. So for a midget, the world is brilliant. So I'd say it'd be good if we do go backwards as opposed to forwards. Instead of us getting bigger all the time...
Do you want a cup of tea?
No,
I'm not sure off, mate. I'll leave you to it.
Do you know what I mean, though?
We haven't got any... We've only got instant coffee as well.
No,
yeah, I might pop out for something.
But what I mean is, they always say,
I'll make it.
the body's...
No, thanks, mate. But
tell me when he's finished.
I'm just saying the body's getting bigger. And instead of going forward...
No sugar for me, thanks.
Do you want milk, though?
Yeah, milk.
Forget it.
Some scientists have come up with a cure for bird flu. It's somewhat to do with some stuff in horses. They gave the flu to a mouse and then injected it and it's well again. I think we should stop coming up with cures for things as the germs are just getting stronger and stronger. I reckon by 2020, germs will be so big that we will be able to see them in the air. They will no longer be little particles. You wouldn't swallow one. If you did, it won't be the germ that will kill you. You'll just choke to death.
I think that's how we'll die in the future.
Choking on enormous giant germs. And they'll be like rampaging around the cities, will they?
I'll tell you what though, right? That I'm getting worried now because the stuff he believes and thinks of, I mean, it could be mental. Do you know what I mean though? Like a proper paranoid sort of, one of those people that assume going to live in a loft covered in tinfoil.
Yeah.
Right? And pages of the Bible all the way around the... and Suzanne's having to put on some sort of spacesuit to come in and give him his beans on toast.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to polish each bean.
That's what scientists do, isn't it? They just sort of think ahead of everyone else. That's what I'm doing. And the weird thing is, right, Steve, sometime last week, there was a science piece which was close to what I'd already said.
Yeah.
That they've got some germs that like eating sugar, right? They stick them in a lunchbox with a chocolate bar. Within an hour, it was gone. Right? And they're saying how these germs love chocolate and stuff.
Did this scientist leave it near this fat scientist that works in the same laboratory? And he went, it's unbelievable. Ted, he went, what? Right, I put the chocolate bar in here with the germ. I came, it's gone. That's amazing. Wow, that's brilliant, that. Do it again. What? Do it again. Leave another one, see if it happens again.
So in the future, you're running around and germs are...
eating chocolate.
That's not science, that's Pac-Man. Went to bed and chatted about food to Suzanne. I said it would be best if our bodies could be run on something like coal. That way you wouldn't get fat, people, because you wouldn't be eating for enjoyment. You'd just be eating to give you energy. Suzanne said, why do you always take the nice things out of life?
Because sometimes to think about the future, it's not going to be all good, is it? Look at the way we have to do things now that we sort of go, oh, I'm sick of this. But they do it for your own good.
But you try and change the laws of the universe.
Based on arbitrary whims.
No, but we're
Yeah.
always eating stuff. That's one of the things we do now, isn't it? As soon as we find a new creature like that frog that's been hidden away for like millions of years, you get someone who go, I wonder if we can eat that. Do you know what I mean? It's everything that's walking on the world, they sort of see what powers it's got.
What powers it's got?
No, like if it can jump far, is it poisonous? Can you get anything out of it to save people? And then can we eat it? They're the three things that they do with a new frog. Any creature.
So what are they? Can it jump fast?
Yeah. Has
Is
got
it
any
poisonous?
poison in it that you can use to get rid of illnesses?
Yeah.
Can you eat it?
That's the
more
first
and
three
more-
questions anyone asks, do
It
they?
seems to be the way, because you look at menus and that, how they're getting bigger and bigger now, and that's only because we're finding more and more species of stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at some stuff on a menu, that octopus you eat, at some point that would have gone through the list of, right, what does it do? What's it got in it? What does that ink do? What does it taste like?
Can it jump?
Can it, whatever, well, they've done tests on it, haven't they, when we said about it being getting in a jam jar or something.
Yeah.
So it's all part of it. Everything's been tested. Everything.
But I think what the thrill is that the first you hear of a newfangled food, do you think that in ancient civilization they didn't do this? They didn't try an oyster or spear a fish or
Yeah, because
eat
there
a
wasn't
maggot.
that much other stuff knocking about at that time.
Right.
We've got loads of stuff, so why are we messing about with some new frog? It's all like, people just like showing off, don't they? Leave the frogs, let them get busy and have loads of them, eat the chickens, when we run out of them, move on to the frog. Or whatever. But why have all this on the go? Do you know what I mean? It just makes it... I hate going out for a meal now, because it's like, what you having? Oh, I'm sick of it, look at it all. And then you're forced into people going, oh, have you had the new frog? I don't want it, I'm happy with chicken. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Have you ever been out, Rick, and someone's been trying to force frog on you?
I've never been forced frog in my life. Although I did go for a meal once with Karl. We went there and he had the Oriental hors d'oeuvres I recommended, right? And he was trying to get this little oyster, right, off the shell, right? And he was getting it stuck to its house, right? And I looked round and his eyes were watering and he was choking and he was drinking water. I said, what? And he said, I hit that. And it was a big blob of wasabi, right? And I said, why'd you put it all in one to end? He said, I thought it was a mushy pea. Why would they put one mushy pea?
Was it hardcore, the wasabi?
It felt like my head was caving in.
That was just Ricky squeezing it, wasn't it? Between courses.
Trouble with that though is, hot food, why you get addicted to really hot food, is the pain is actually it's killing taste buds, and then endorphins are released in the brain, like, a morphine derivative to sort of go, it's alright, calm the pain. So you actually get addicted to that sort of, what
So
happens.
why would you want to kill your taste buds? But new ones come back
Well, yeah, I think I think you.
straight away.
Well, I don't know how long it takes. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, it's just, is that the chef sort of going, I'm serving some right rubbish tonight, give him some of that kusabi.
Kusabi! Oh God, and Tonto! Oh God!
Back to the diary. Back to Karl's diary, Friday the 31st. I read that some fella had been having an affair. His wife found out, so when he was asleep, she superglued his knob to his stomach, one of his bollocks to his leg, and glued his arse cheeks together, then chucked him out. If Suzanne did that, I would definitely not get back with her. Saying that, I would have woke up if someone was putting superglue on me arse. I'm quite a light sleeper.
Is that what she did, is it?
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit cautious about wearing earbuds every night. The plunge things.
Earbuds, right? So
plunge
that's what they're called, right? Plunge things. It's like he makes up words. They taught a chimp to talk, and the chimp had a better grasp of language after about a few years than Karl. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's why I won't wear buds and plunge things. I phoned him up the other day. He went, oh, just tried out those new earplugs that mould to your ear. You can't hear a thing except your own voice. And I went, oh, right, they're good, aren't they? He went, yeah. He said, it's weird hearing your own voice, isn't it? Because you're hearing it as other people hear it. I went, no, you're not. He went, you are. He said, you don't usually hear your own voice, because usually when you talk, you're talking over it.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, did I tell you about...
I just think of him opening his eyes and looking at him.
Okay, alright. Okay, so he opens his eyes, he looks at Suzanne, she looks at him. What question, Rick, do you think he immediately asks his girlfriend?
Go on.
What question do you think? Have a quick guess.
Am I dreaming?
I woke up, I said to my girlfriend, did I tell you about... I woke up, I looked at Suzanne, she looked at me. I said, did I tell you about the immune system? Did I tell you about the immune system? Suzanne started laughing. I said, it's amazing. She said, not now. Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Carl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell!
Was talking to Suzanne about how it's odd that Sundays are meant to be the day of rest. I thought God was meant to be born on a Sunday. Or was it the 7th day that he finished making the world? Imagine how good the world could have been if he'd given it an extra day. Sometimes it's best to give yourself a deadline, though, so you don't faff about. I looked at Suzanne. She was leaning back on the bench with her eyes shut with the sun on her face. I never got an answer to my question.
Pretending to be asleep.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No! No! What do you mean?
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's, in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, innit, than your hands. Innit?
Now then, would you walk, how would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Carl, so that you could walk, so you're basically walking forwards?
I reckon I'd walk sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
Oh, God! He solved it again!
He's thought it through. Ah. Got home and read my magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news, that was in a proper newspaper in the end.
The story used the description to describe it. There was a picture. I think it was a fairly decent description. It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look alright if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders. Cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
I haven't had a normal conversation with you for a year.
No.
It's getting worse, I think. I think it's because you've left and you've got too much time on your hands and you live in your head for sort of like maybe 8 hours a day, and then you offload when someone calls you, or when you call me, or Suzanne gets the brunt of it. But I mean, I don't know. I really would like to, and I still think he's brilliant, right? But I would like to get a little psychiatrist in, just to. Would you mind seeing a psychiatrist?
No, but it's just there's nothing wrong. These are all ideas, aren't they? You look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up. They wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff going about?
It's all these powers.
But how could we use them? How could we harness them?
I just told you, dustbin men. Or whatever
But
that...
no, you said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket...
It's just that we always use insects for, like, a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Cockroaches can live without a head.
I know.
Could they still sort out the rubbish if they've got no heads?
They could, couldn't they?
Except if they were, because you know you want to use them as builders and dustmen, they couldn't whistle at pretty girls, could
No, but they wouldn't be doing that job. They're just doing the bins.
they? Okay.
It's ants that are doing the building.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And are they getting up early? Are they
They
disturbing
don't
you?
sleep, do they?
But they don't get you up even earlier. You hate it when builders get you up at 7, then go to breakfast.
Yeah, but it wouldn't go on as long, would it? Because the ants would be working hard. So it'd probably be one day of madness, but then it'd be finished. As opposed to builders just stood about whistling, doing nothing, going on for months.
And is this ant 6 foot?
No. About 3.
3 foot. So how many of them are there?
About 30 of them.
And what do they look like? Are they just a giant ant with a...
Add that on. Just get on with it. I mean, it'd be weird for a bit, but with anything, you get used to seeing
But
things,
Karl,
don't you?
again, this isn't an idea. It isn't a theory. You can't put this into practice 'cause it doesn't exist.
I know, I'm just saying.
It's
though,
like, well, I mean, you wishing for ant builders is the same as you wishing that you didn't have to do any building and your house was just perfect, or you could just wish for it. What's the difference? Why go through this elaborate? But what I'm saying
Weird,
is
isn't
that
it?
your wish is you're not taking shortcuts. You see, it's the same people who goes, "Oh, I wish I could go back in time and put £1,000 on the Grand National." What you mean is you wish you had £1 million. So don't worry about the time travel bit and put in a. You wish you were rich.
Yeah.
It's like so you wish you didn't have to have builders round. That's what you're wishing for. So this elaborate thing of getting a 3-foot ant with a hard hat. Testing. Karl.
Right.
So, thinking of doing a new series of audiobooks, aren't we? Not on the old format, not the Ricky Gervais show as you know it. It will be me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. He's not here. He's wearing tights running around on the set of The Tooth Fairy with The Rock. But he's back next week.
As if he needed to sort of have stuff done to him to make him look weirder.
He's not here. He can't defend himself.
No, but I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
Just why did they have to go and dress him up?
Well, I think he's playing a Tooth Fairy.
I know, but it's like sticking Elephant Man in a rhino suit. Why add to it?
Oh dear. Oh, I'm sure he's missed this. So we're going to do a series of audiobooks that we'll put up intermittently when we've got something good. First one we're thinking of Evolution. Try and get that out by Christmas or just after. And then every few weeks put another one out. Biology. Space. Yeah?
Mm.
Now, I was trying to explain to you Evolution the other day, but you really weren't getting it. And I was worried. I was thinking, oh, we should have saved this for the audiobook. But I don't think you'll ever get it. I don't think there's going to come a day where you're going to come in and totally understand.
I do get it. I understand how stuff's moved on because it had to. Things change because
It
of its
didn't have to.
surroundings. No, it did have to.
No,
Well,
it didn't have to. It changed and it was selected, so it worked.
No, but it had to.
Well.
If I was a giraffe with a short neck and I
Yeah.
suddenly had a long one, I'd go, well, if I don't need this, why have you given me this?
Well, no, but you're thinking of a will. You're thinking that the giraffes tried to get a long neck to reach the leaves. They didn't. The ones with short necks, they were happy. They were eating what leaves they could. But the ones with long necks could probably eat better leaves, eat for longer, live for longer, pass on their
Right.
genetic material more.
But the long neck ones are still around. I've never seen a short neck giraffe.
No, because it became the dominant species.
Yeah.
And it competed.
So
and
it was
therefore,
better. It was better than the one with the long neck had
Yeah.
outlived the short neck.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that's around, was
Yeah, so it's better. Show me a short neck giraffe and I'll go, fair enough. There's room for everyone here.
But my point is this. But one, I'm saying evolution hasn't got a will. Okay? It's not that long neck giraffes came from short neck giraffes, they all changed and evolved. It's that short neck giraffes and long neck giraffes came from another type of short neck giraffe. At some point, a male and a female of a species give rise to a different species, give rise to an individual example of a potential species. Okay? At some point, two short-necked giraffes gave birth to a giraffe with a slightly longer neck. They can actually wipe out the other one, where they breed them out.
So they're the better one.
Well, yeah, they're more dominant
That's what I
species, yeah,
said.
and
I
more
said-
successful. But don't forget, success is purely how prolific and widespread you are. Success, right, in terms of being perfect for your surroundings, is just surviving. This is my point I was telling you about, that the slug is as evolved as us.
It's not though.
It
We have
is.
talked about this, and I still don't agree with you. I've slept on it. I've thought about it. I've looked at them and thought, is that evolved as me? And I've looked at it. Even that, I reckon, knows it's not that good.
It doesn't know anything.
No, but I just mean in terms of things on the world. I don't know how I'd big one up. If an alien landed and sort of said, "Show me the greatest species," I'd say, "What if they go? What's that on the floor?" I go, "Leave it. Don't even look at it. It's not worth knowing about. I don't know what they do. I've coughed up better looking stuff."
But they don't. All I mean is, it's still around. In fact,
I know it's still around.
You could say it's more evolved than us because there's been more generations. But anyway, it works. It works perfectly. They're everywhere.
But I don't think it works. I don't know this works. Now we're living in a time where people, they're born, they do nought for a living, they sit around, but they still survive. Because we're in that time now in the world where, you know, everyone's allowed an equal share of what's going on.
Well,
Now, if there wasn't a thing where, you know, if there was some sort of check-up, if someone went around going, "What do you do?" and you went, "Nothing," they got rid of you, the slug would have gone a long time ago. Because they don't do anything.
well, they do.
They don't.
They're part of the ecosystem. Things eat them. They eat things.
I don't
What does an
understand.
animal have to do for
Something,
you to be
just
worthy?
something. I mean, I'm not being that fussy. I'm just saying a slug. I spend more time chucking them out of my house, but I don't know what they're coming in for. They don't know. That seems to be their thing, to break into people's houses. And you look around for holes and that, you think, where have they come in?
Why are you so angry, though?
Because I could understand it. Say, like spiders, people say, leave a spider in your house.
Well, no, who says that?
They're good to have around.
No,
Spiders.
no one says leave a spider in your house.
They
Your
clean-
mum does because she's got a pet one with a bit of Tipex on the back that lives
Yeah.
under the telly.
Yeah.
But no one goes, I don't know what that saying is. Where did that saying come from? Leave a spider in your house. Where did that saying come from? Who's ever said leave a spider in your
Well,
house?
it's a known thing that it'll get rid of dead flies and stuff
It
like
won't
that.
get rid
It'll
of
just
dead
get on
flies.
with
It won't get rid of dead flies. They don't eat dead flies. They eat live flies. They make flies dead. They make dead flies.
Well, flies.
They don't get rid of them. They create dead flies. That's what they do. That's their job.
Flies will not hang around a house that's got spiders in it. They'll go, forget it, I'll go next door.
No, they don't. They fly into webs because they don't know the web's there.
No.
Oh.
Spiders do stuff. Just stuff as well that we eat. Sometimes I think that's a good enough thing to be created.
Well, they eat spiders in Indonesia. Some Asian countries, they eat spiders. They fry up tarantulas for you, don't they?
Yeah, but at least it's a reason then. That's what I'm saying. I've never had anyone go, "Do you want a fried slug? A slug? Do you want a fried slug?
Do you want a what?
A fried slug."
Well, I'm sure somewhere they do eat slugs.
Well, I just, you know, we'll have to agree to disagree, because there's just so much now, it's got out of hand, that's the thing. We don't know what's doing what anymore, because there's so much stuff going about. It's going, what do they do? I don't know. I was looking at the other thing. What other thing? This
yes,
one?
but that's...
What's that?
Well, no. If it's here, it's working. It's done its
No,
bit.
because it's easy to hide now in this world. There's so much going on from different things. No one knows who's doing what. It's like a company, isn't it? When a company starts out, it's got, you know, 4 people in it.
Yeah.
And everyone's got a job. There's no hiding. Because you go, why hasn't that been done? Barry should have done that. Barry, why hasn't this done? Oh, I'll do it.
Right.
The company grows.
Yeah.
You've got Harry, Barry, Sally. Then Alan comes in.
Yeah.
Now, as it grows,
Yeah.
and then you've got
Well,
Michael.
I don't think you should give Alan the job. To be honest, he's a cunt.
No, but this is
Fucking
what I'm
waste
saying.
of space.
But you get to a point when all
Thieving fucking wanker he is.
Alan can hide.
Yeah. Alan can fucking hide in prison.
Right.
If he's up to his old fucking tricks again.
Now this is what I'm saying.
Twat.
Though. So, and that's what it's like in the creature world.
The creature world.
There's too much stuff. They're all claiming to be doing bits.
They're not claiming anything!
Well, you're saying slugs do stuff, and I haven't seen a slug do anything.
Well, it survives. That's what it does.
Probably because some spider's looking after it.
What do you mean? Why would a spider be looking
I'm just
after
saying, it
it?
might not be a spider, but I'm just saying there's so many different people getting in different things,
A
getting
snail,
involved.
a snail carer. This slug's got a little snail carer. He goes, come on. He goes, oh, I haven't got a shower. He goes, I've got a shower. Get in with me. It's not room for two of us, you can't. Evolution coming soon. Well, this is a special edition, a giveaway podcast that people who came to see my show Fame in London got put on their seat gratis. Thanks for coming. Well, unless you didn't even come and still got this free. Unless someone went and said, I don't want it, he was rubbish, and gave it to you, you're listening to it for free. Or you've sort of downloaded it illegally. It was free anyway. Oh, forget it. We've been away for a while. Now we're back together.
The old team.
The old team back together in a little room in central London. Karl, looking back on the year, what's happened? I remember last year the most memorable thing that happened was you saw a grub eating a biscuit. So
that was a highlight. I made it into his diary.
Yeah. So what's the big thing of this year? What's the big thing so far of 2007 that, if I say 2007, you'll go, oh yeah, that was the year that. In 10 years' time.
Years to come.
Yeah, I'll go. Remember 2007? You go, of course I do. It was the year that.
I haven't really been following what's going on because of other like personal.
Well, yeah.
issues.
What's the big? Okay, what's the
Just
big thing?
My boiler's playing up still. Sick of it.
Your what?
My boiler.
Your boiler.
The boiler that eats the water up and stuff. Which it doesn't.
You know what I'd do in that situation? I'd instantly get a repairman out to sort it out.
Done that twice. It was £80 for him just to say, it looks like you need a new one.
Why didn't you get a new one then?
Call out. Because then you wondered, are you meant to believe him or is he out to sort of.
Well, he's the expert.
Yeah, but is he? It's
Well,
like you're meant
no.
to get a second opinion, aren't you? Like
So that was the first time then. So what was the second time? Who came out the second time?
same fella.
And what did he say?
Well, I
What
thought
did
you
he
were going to
call
get a second
I
opinion.
know,
Yeah,
but
and
I
also-
called up the company and they just sent him again because it.
Well, call
I
a
think-
different
What was,
company.
what was,
No,
what was
no.
his second opinion? £80.
I undercharged you. It's 150.
No, because they must look in the book and sort of go, oh, Harry went round there or whatever, and they must think, well, he went there last time, so he knows the situation,
Yeah.
and got the same fella again.
Well,
so he
well,
turned
and
up,
got the same opinion,
same,
I assume.
Same answer, yeah.
What, so okay, so it's so twice you've called someone out. They said you need a new boiler. He had the overalls on, holding a monkey wrench again. He came in a van.
Yeah.
He charged you. He's the professional. Why haven't you got a new boiler?
Because then he went on to say that it's a dangerous setup I've got. It shouldn't be set up the way it is. It's dangerous. Something about gas leaking out of it. He said you don't sleep close to this, do you? And it's like, well, the bedroom's there. It's not a big flat. You've seen it, Steve.
Yeah.
Everything's en suite, isn't it? So he went on to say
Everything's en suite.
So anyway, he's just sort of said, look, he doesn't want to touch it. He said you need to get someone in who can sort this out for you. But
What? And it took him 2 visits, 160 quid to figure that out.
yeah, this is what they do, isn't it?
So what's his advice?
He just said, there are people out there who will touch it if you pay the right money.
Well, okay, so you're going to get an expert in who does this thing and sorts it out. So
Well, no, I called
on.
up my dad.
oh yeah,
He always knows someone who
first
can
man to
sort stuff out. And he said, one of your cousins is a boiler man, and yeah, they're coming round, but I've never met them. And it turns out that person, because like the whole family, I'm not into sort of keeping in touch with people.
Sure.
I haven't spoke to my brother for like, I don't know, 12 years, and sister about 15 years and that. So the idea of this cousin, who he might as well not have said he's my cousin, because I'm not going to know him anyway. I mean, that last fella, Harry, might as well have been related. So they're going to turn up, and now it turns out that because they haven't seen the rest of the family, they're going to use this as a reunion.
Oh,
What? So they're all going to come round whilst
They're all coming round.
he fixes the boiler.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate family things anyway.
so they're going to come round and just look at you.
Well, yeah, apart from the one who's fixing it, he'll be fixing it, and the others will just be sat around, sort of going, so, how have you been? It's like, well, where do you start? I haven't seen... seriously, I mean, they are strangers. When they buzz, I could be letting anyone in. They buzz the door.
And so you're going to entertain them all in your flat? Tiny
Well,
little flat?
I said to my dad that I might just say that I've got to go to a meeting, let them in, and then shoot off.
I love that. So now they're strangers that you're letting in your flat and you're not even being
Yeah.
there. That's the best thing. That's the security. Now, Karl says he remember this year for his boiler being a bit of a pain, but Now, everyone knows over the past sort of like few years, my big pet project hasn't been my own career. It's been get Karl famous.
Yeah.
I want people to recognise him in the street, come up to him and say, "You bald-headed mank twat." Make his luck.
Well, let me tell you now, Rick. I've
on.
been out and about, and a lot of people have said to me, they've come up to me and said, "Has Karl Pilkington got a head like a fucking orange?"
Well,
and I've
been-
had to instantly confirm the answer to be yes.
Well, I'm in America quite a bit, and it doesn't matter when I'm talking to David Bowie, The Simpsons, all these people on 24, all these people who have got these amazing careers and lives say, is Karl Pilkington really like that? I say yes. He's not 2 short planks, he's 3 or 4 fucking short
Thick
fucking planks.
thick but short, short but
yeah,
thick
fucking
planks.
lumps of thickness. But he's had a call. He had a call recently from a film company asking him if he's got any ideas for movies. Now, how desperate, in what dire straits must the British film industry be that they're going, well,
They're turning to cover, yeah.
we need Karl Pilkington. We have hit rock bottom. And he went along for an interview.
So what? And you went in and you.
I went along and had a meeting in a cafe, and they just said, right, got any ideas? And sort of said, what are you thinking? What sort of thing are you after? Are you after action, thriller, whatever?
Because you can provide any of that.
I love that he's playing it cool, like
Yeah,
you've come to the right person.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
time's precious, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Karl Pilkington, yeah. They call me the movie doctor, what do you need, Papa?
So, thought of this idea sort of on the spot.
Good.
That whiz by 'em. No, but sometimes that's how good ideas come up, don't
Yeah.
they? Just
So
random.
a lot of yours have come up, yeah.
No, but if you just
Randomly.
talk, I find that your mouth comes out with stuff.
Right, there's another
Right,
quote.
right.
There's another quote.
If you talk, your mouth comes out with
That to me stands along with what were those things in Gremlins called? Does your brain rule you, or do you rule your brain?
No, but what I mean, if you sit there and try and use your brain to do it,
Right.
it doesn't work the same. Just keep talking. Just keep your mouth talking, and eventually it will come out with something pretty good.
That is exactly what Plato said.
So
So
anyway,
Aristotle, he said, "Sit down. I've got an idea for you." Aristotle said, "Plato, how do I go?" Right, just keep talking, and eventually your brain will come out with stuff.
So what I thought, I just started off by saying like actors' names and that who I thought should be in it, because then that's giving more. It's building.
Right,
Okay,
so
who's
who did
that?
you
Starting
say?
beginning.
Who did you say?
So I said, right, I'm seeing Clive Warren,
Who the fuck's Clive Warren?
Who's Clive Warren?
the one who was in Closer.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Right, all right.
Did they look at you like you're a fucking idiot?
Well,
So they all started trying to figure out, who's this Clive Warren we've not heard about? He must be amazing. He's
Clive Warren. Get me Clive Warren on the phone.
Who's got
Get
Clive
me
Warren?
Clive Warren.
and I said Rebecca De Mornay, right?
What?
Where did that come
She
from?
hasn't been in a film for 15 years, has she?
Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay. I love this. They thought he was a genius. They thought he was an absolute nugget. Like, we've never thought of putting Clive Warren with Rebecca De Mornay.
But hang on a minute, you could have any film star. This is your fantasy casting, and you choose a bloke that doesn't exist and a woman who hasn't been on TV or in a film for 10 years.
Oh God!
Why didn't you choose
Someone who existed.
J-Lo or someone who's a big star?
Oh God!
Rebecca De Mornay.
Clive Warren! Oh God!
Oh,
So
God.
anyway, so they were going, yeah, and what happens is they're going out and together and that.
Yeah, Clive Warren and Rebecca
Yeah.
De Mornay.
I said it's one of them where it starts off and the people, you're seeing into their lives from
Yeah.
like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. They're going about the day. They're having the breakfast. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" They're planning a big do that night and stuff. And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life."
Mm.
She's like, "Love you" and all that. Yeah. He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus.
Oh,
So Clive Warren's dead, right?
Yeah.
Now, what happens is she's devastated, Rebecca.
I don't know if Clive Warren would take that part
because he ain't got much to do, has he?
No, I don't. If I know Clive Warren,
And I think you do.
I think I do. He's going to say, "No, hold on though. There's more, isn't there? I've
Have you jumped the gun there, Rick?
go on, mate. What? Carry on. So he's hit by a bus, so he's
So
dead.
he's hit by a bus and that. The titles come up.
Oh,
It's got
yeah.
you, right? She's
Starring
devastated. She's
Clive Warren.
fed up. She's devastated and that. Doctor says Clive's dead.
And that who's playing the Doctor? Jack Nicholson House.
Sort of. What's that fella who was in Independence Day?
Will Smythe.
No, the old black fella.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in.
Morgan
He's a
Freeman,
doctor.
yeah.
He says, your husband's dead.
Right.
She's like, oh, God. What happens then is, he says, but listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out,
Right.
Right.
and a fact that I'd read that day before the meeting, this isn't in the film now, this is me.
Right, but
Right.
luckily,
Okay.
luckily
I
you've
read
the
a
fact.
thing about how the brain can run on half of it.
Yeah.
You've actually got a full brain,
Yeah.
you can
Some
run it
of
on
us
half. You can run it on half.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was in my mind still, so I thought I'll get that in.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So I said, what happens is Morgan Freeman says, been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain.
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, what you tell me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick. She's like, do what? He said, I'll tell you. He says, we can, whilst his brain's not fully dead, because it stays awake for a bit when you've
Oh,
been
he's
killed.
not dead then. Fine.
No, but
Wait
he
till
is.
he comes alive. What do you mean?
He is, but they found out that
Right.
it stays awake a little bit.
No.
So-
No, he's gone.
No,
You're
no.
hit by a bus.
Yeah, no, he's
You're
dead. If the brain's dead, you are dead.
Clive Warren's dead.
And if the brain's not dead, you're not dead.
No, but it's like people in a coma. They're dead, aren't they? But
No,
the brain
no,
isn't
No,
dead.
no, they're in a coma.
No, they're not
in
dead.
a coma.
No, they come out of comas, don't
All
they?
right, then he's in a coma. He's been hit by the bus, but the chances are he's not going to come out of that coma. But his brain is still awake.
Right, okay.
So change that. That's easily done.
Hold on though. I like this fact that he's in a coma, so they're going, look, he's definitely going to die in this coma. Take the brain out now. Pop the brain out.
But why is that such a weird thing when that's what they do now? That's what they do now.
What is?
That's what they do.
What?
They do that.
What? A brain transplant?
No, but when, like, how I've signed that donor card.
Yeah.
Right, if anything happens to me.
No.
they've
There's
got the
no
lot.
such thing as a brain donor. Oh, we've explained to you before.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They've said something about Einstein. They messed about with his brain for ages, trying to work out if it was full of stuff. That's what they're doing. They're working on that. There's loads of things that doctors are doing that we don't know about. I've seen some weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I saw a programme on Channel 5 where a monkey brain was still alive and it was stuck on a stick. And they
You were
poked
watching
it.
the Magic Roundabout.
They poked it and it reacted.
Right.
So it's still alive. It's being kept alive, and it's only a matter of time. What's the brain linked up to? As long as you can link it up to the eyes, and somehow so it can tell the arms and legs what to do, you're laughing.
I love that. Imagine a team full of doctors going, well, we're going to try and do a brain transplant. Carl, right, okay, I'm going to be quick because I've got to get back. My cousin's fixing my boiler. As long as you can link this up to the eyes and tell the arms and legs what to do, we're laughing. Cheers, Carl. See you later.
Then what happens is, they say, do you want half of his brain in your head?
Half of his brain in her head.
She says, definitely not. I'm having you struck off. She starts screaming. She calls the police. He gets
Yeah,
arrested.
but you'd have said that years ago when people can have, like, someone else's arm put on their body and stuff.
Yeah, but he's only in a coma.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to come out of that coma.
Right.
So it's like this or nothing. It's
Right.
like, look, you know, what we're going to do here? We can either turn the switch off,
Yeah.
or we can put his head in your head.
But why would
So
why,
what he does? So what they do then? They're going to take half his brain.
Half of his brain, take
Put
out half of hers, pop it in place
Why would she do that?
because she loves him.
But hold on. Well, no. Wait. What would she then be?
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Sorry.
What happens is, he explains all this. So I mean, this would probably cover about 20 minutes in the film, but I'm just rushing you.
I just
rushing
switched
it up
off,
now.
but yeah.
No, you wouldn't. This bit would have you. So what?
Well,
what-
I'd have actually left when I wouldn't have even gone in to see a film starring Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay, unless it was 1985.
So the thing is, she's the same as you. She says the same thing. She goes, "Why would I do that, doctor?" And he goes, "Well, what will happen is, he's gone, but you'll have his thoughts. So in the morning when you say, 'Oh, I don't know what to have,' well, they have cornflakes. His bit of the brain will sort of say,
Have a Weetabix.
have shredded wheat or
Yeah.
whatever." And she's like, "Oh yeah, good idea."
Sorry. So the point of this film is that the dead man can remind her what breakfast cereal she likes.
Yeah. So the thought. When
What do you
she-
mean? Yes. So that's it, is it?
No. That's not the only
Wait,
thing.
wait a minute. This is only Act
That's
1.
that's just the first bit. Everything's going well. She has it done.
So who is she? Is she herself?
She's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
But now
With
and again, with him chipping in with a bit of voiceover. So the idea is it's all going well at the beginning. And
So she can't decide what
So
dress to wear.
she's had half of her brain taken out and put in a bin, okay, and Clive Warren's half has been put in there. So now she's walking round, okay.
So she's she's schizophrenic.
It's okay though, because the bit they put in of Clive Warren's brain is actually he remembers in a coma. So there's nothing happening anyway. Don't worry about it. All she's got is half a brain.
No, like I say, the brain is alive, so it's all going well when she leaves hospital.
Yeah.
And she gets a first taste of it, and it's a bit weird to get hold of because she's sort of. I think when she signs herself out, he's sort of fighting, writing his name and stuff. So there's a few sort of technical things that she has to get used to.
And does Clive's brain know that he's now inside her brain?
Does that matter?
Well, I would say it matters because otherwise,
yes, it does matter, Carl. What's he thinking? What's the point of this? Why has she gone along with this?
Because she really loves him.
But what's in it for him? What does she think?
Well, say if I died and Suzanne said, "Go on, I'll have half of Karl's," right? She would wake up in the morning to a thought of me sort of going, "Oh, you never guess what I've just thought about," or whatever. I'd still be there.
But she wouldn't ever do that.
Isn't it? The rest of the rest of your body is sort of waste, isn't it?
But Carl, the rest of your body's sort of waste.
No, it is kind of. When someone dies, it's not that person anymore, is it? They're still there physically.
Yeah.
But you can't have a chat with them. So if you could have someone's brain in your head when they're dead, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about? Why would I have someone's brain in my head when they're dead?
Well,
I've got a perfectly good brain.
Yeah. So, but like I said, you're running on half. So
who's running on half?
So you're telling me you wouldn't have it done then?
Of course I fucking wouldn't.
I can also categorically state I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but you're saying that now, but once you're in that position that someone who, you love and that dies, if the doctor said, "Do you want it?"
No! I'd go, no! It's madness!
I don't think you
It's madness!
Alright. Let me just ask this as a question, even if we accept this as a possibility. If Clive Warren doesn't know that he's in Rebecca's brain, their love and the conversations they used to have and what would the connection between them is going to be absent because she's going to be talking to him and he's just going to be going, I don't know, shredded wheat.
It's all thought. She doesn't have to talk.
So they're not talking to one another?
Well, they are, but not out loud. She's not walking down the corridor going, "What do you think, Clive?"
Right.
And he's saying shredded wheat. It's happening.
Right. But how is this dramatically shown on screen? Do we hear those voices?
Now that they've got
you hear the voices.
You hear the voices?
You hear the voices.
So tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
Yeah, that was dynamite.
Yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah, can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, "Why is she laughing?"
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, "Look at her head." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Looks like
Stuff
a
on the
orange.
family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, "Oh, it's quite funny, this."
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
The 8 people that have gone to see it.
Yeah. Rebecca De Mornay and her family.
Yeah.
Clive Warren's 3 mates. Alright, Clive, I didn't know you were a film star. No, I was in a garage yesterday.
Yeah, I was fixing boilers.
Well, anyway, this is where you get them.
It's the most ludicrous idea for film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Oh Christ!
Remember, I was making all this up.
It's not based on a true story then.
Imagine if he said that in a meeting. Remember, I'm making all this up, and they go, "All right, okay." I thought.
So the meeting's still going on. They haven't left at this point.
No, they were sort of going, "Oh right, yeah." But what annoying?
Check please. Check please.
That's the annoying thing. It was like, I just wondered whether this is what they do just so they can have a cake every day at 4:00 because it was odd. I can't imagine Spielberg sort of nipping down to Costa Coffee to discuss E.T. So I said, right, so this is where you get them. You've got everyone laughing, and that's what it's all about with a film, isn't it? It's emotions, messing with people's emotions and that.
Yeah.
So they like that. They were like, "Yeah, it is, yeah."
Yeah.
So, and there you go again. That's
new outlook to filmmaking.
That's me mouth coming out with stuff that even I didn't know I knew.
Yeah.
So then I said, right, then what happens is, she hears the voice go, "Leslie, where are you?" Something.
Right.
her name's not Leslie.
No.
No.
So she's thinking, who's Leslie?
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, who's Leslie? He's going, oh,
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've
here.
let something slip. So she's going, answer me.
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh!
So
He was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
Leslie.
And he's got to stop her thinking it.
Then what happens is, I mean, you know,
Where your ex?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
so she's got to hunt down Leslie,
Right.
and that can fill about half an hour again. I'm not.
I love
quite
the
sure.
fact that you're doing it how far you've got through the film.
Yeah.
I
You've got
like-
to
yeah.
fill up 2 hours, right?
One more idea, we call it half hour, that's the end of the film. See you later, starring Clive Warren.
So
Nice to see Rebecca De Mornay again, wasn't it? Yeah.
So Leslie has got to be sought out. It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it a
another
bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what would sort of happen is,
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them, because this will be filling the multiplexes in no
Yeah,
time.
this film's definitely going to
This
be
is
made.
definitely going to get made.
well, seriously, isn't any pick a massive Hollywood film and look at it on paper and go, that's a balmy idea.
Casablanca.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, what
That's
happens
why they
is,
called on him as a movie expert.
This is a different sort of love triangle. They've all got their own brains and
Yeah.
legs and stuff, walking around, interacting normally.
But that's just it. It's the power of love, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah.
But sorry,
How
I
far
mean,
you'll
I don't
go.
want to see.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
But listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Carl. I don't. Yeah, you've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people
No, come on,
listening,
come on, what's
hanging
the
on,
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right. So what I said was, I said maybe because I wasn't sure about this end bit. I
Go
thought
on.
they might think it's daft or whatever.
You're
So
putting
I
yourself down. I imagine it's dynamite. Go on.
I said maybe you could have something like this, and they were there, sort of going, "Oh yeah, what's it going to be? What's it going to be?"
Yeah, well, he's come up with some great stuff at the moment.
What happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers.
Right? How is now? How is there power? I don't. Why is there no power involved?
It's got a stronger will.
What I mean is, the brain, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's taking over.
His brain's just sat there, innit, thinking stuff.
Right.
Brilliant.
So that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it? That. So just have a bit of that at the end, and
That is the worst idea I have ever heard for any piece of art. I mean, it's the it would be the worst. It would be the worst TV show, worst book, worst everything. It's the worst idea.
it's not the worst idea because as long as a film makes you think.
But this doesn't make us think about anything.
I'm thinking, who the fuck's Clive Warren? So hold on. So he overpowers her. So she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think? Hold on. Why is my
Because-
dead lover's wife coming on to me?
Because this is what I'm saying to you. It's relationships. It's the love of two brains.
Right. Okay. Again, can anyone
a
out there? Can we
subline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains.
Well, it's-
now he's got something there. He's got something
Yeah.
there. But my point is this: why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Well, maybe now and again, Rebecca or Clive says something. Rebecca will say something now and again, like, "Oh, I like me.
Minge.
I like me. You know, me food done like this or whatever." And it's all about say if
Cooked. I
like
like my food cooked. Oh my, wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
what
I'm
I
going
mean
to turn
is
into a lesbian.
people
Shredded wheat.
people like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman and then is found out that she's got a twin sister and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that.
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily
something.
switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's a twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah, I loved boobs, now I like cock.
Well,
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't.
Rick, you may be interested to know that Karl Pilkington basically thanks to the efforts of your good self in making him into a household name, has got a book deal. And there's a book that will be coming out later in the year called Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish by Karl Pilkington.
What's that about, Karl?
What's the angle? Is it a novel?
Well, again, I just was letting my mouth sort of think and what have you, just churning stuff out, and I was thinking about holidays that I've been on, because they always say write about what you know and stuff. So I thought, well, I've been on a few holidays. Write about them. I actually thought about it when I was on holiday.
Is it like a travel book then? It's your experiences?
It's just like a rough guide.
And have you done it? Have you finished the?
Yeah, I've just got to do some pictures and that and colour them in, and then it's done.
When's that out? October?
Yeah.
So you say it's a travel book, and yet I've managed to get hold of a few pages, and this chapter is titled Australia. So
You've never been to Australia?
No, I know. But
Well, it's not. How is it a travel guide?
No, it's not. It's not like Wish You Were Here type thing. It's just saying, if you're going away, think about it.
Right.
It's just asking people to sort of think.
But why
about...
don't they just let their mouth do the thinking? Why
No,
don't they...
but just have a read of like my thoughts, and you
Okay,
have the
let's
same.
have a read then.
You don't know anything about Australia because you've never been.
No, but exactly. So I'm saying I've never been. This is why I've never been. Is this why you've never been?
Well, that makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. It's a pointless book.
It's not a pointless book.
Well, let's
Sorry,
okay.
whereas you thought it was going to be what?
Right, can we read a bit of it then?
So this is the chapter entitled Australia. Box jellyfish, crocodiles, snakes, blue ring octopus, red-black spiders, funnel web spiders, great white sharks. Just some of the reasons that put me off going to Australia. Every creature is bigger and angrier than anywhere else on the world. I put it down to two things. One, it could either be because spiders and snakes and the like normally hide under rocks. The Earth is one big rock. Australia's at the bottom of the big rock, and they're trying to hide under it.
Carl,
valid,
you
isn't
are a maniac!
It's just thinking about it, thinking about where spiders go and that works, doesn't it?
No!
Why doesn't that work like a
Because there's
rock?
no real upside down and bottom of the Earth, is it? It's all relative to what? It's relative to what? A map that you saw.
Well, it's a coincidence, isn't it?
No, right, okay, read on.
I've heard that a lot of people go camping in Australia, which I think's mental. If I was to fly all that way, I'd want a decent bed. Plus, I wouldn't be camping in a place where there are killer spiders wandering around.
I agree.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's alright, Lyme Regis. But it was all a bit of a nightmare, because I was going with my mate, and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No, back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for
away
like when they
from
have
it, innit?
parties
Yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
Someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of quite a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach. We found a bit of... See, we found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish. So we thought...
nice.
That's the place to go,
No,
yeah.
lovely.
A
No,
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
No, just
Was
Coke
it just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and...
Oh, lovely.
But listen, though,
Baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
sure.
about that.
Rusty?
If there's,
What's something rusty?
if there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp.
Why?
Why?
Because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's a way. That's like a little tip of...
I would love this to be a real
So,
guide.
so you could have slept
first
in a
thing-
public lavatory.
Yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there. And then what
Some
was
people put up
annoying
a
is...
tent, he puts down a tent.
we what's her name?
It was already up.
He was
carried
already
it all
they
the way
carried it all
from
the way
London.
there and they went, let's pack it down.
Yeah.
the weird thing was, soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. holidaymakers, they that was probably in the guidebook.
They started setting up their tents. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mates said, "Oh, ignore them. That's like code for swingers."
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like the sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing.
code
Don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone. You know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then
So,
before you know it,
but what do these people look like?
they were about 45.
Who are they? There,
A man and a woman.
a man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
That
I
means
don't know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, should one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
and we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a
It's a
code for
code
swingers. Because eventually, how many times they give someone sausages and they go, "Well, get your pants off," and they go, "Well, we just have some sausages." They go, "Oh, this isn't working. This code.
But
we
why
need
would
a better
they be,
code."
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
I think I'd quite like to meet some proper Aborigines. It amazes me the way that these people still live like cavemen did years ago. They waste nothing. They have a use for everything. I saw some pictures in the paper about some tribe somewhere who chucked their spears at a helicopter that tried to land close to them. If the tribe got annoyed with you, they would let you know that they were annoyed by shaking their knob at you.
That's what they do.
Oh God!
See, that's like a proper guide thing. Just in case you ever meet one, they start doing that.
Karl just ends that chapter by saying, "I don't know what the women do if they get annoyed."
Oh God! Oh God!
Within this new Karl book, of course, there are extracts from his famous diary. This is... You've actually been to Madeira, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit more of a factually accurate, informative chapter on Madeira. September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight.
Oh.
The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine.
Oh God! Oh.
We had to get 2 cabs to the villa because they couldn't fit 5 of us into one. It cost €85 each. That's just whinging. That's not anything.
That's dear though, isn't it? It's a dear way.
But that's not good because they don't know how far that was.
Yeah.
They don't know whether that's rip off or how, you know.
It's just letting you know that.
What? You don't know what the distance was. If it was a
Taxes a
mile,
day.
it's a rip off. If it was 25 miles, it's a bargain.
And you know you can't get 5 of you in one cab. It's all little things that might help you on a journey.
Yeah.
Suzanne's dad said he liked the free biscuits that were in the cupboard. We went to try and find...
Sorry, this isn't useful as a guidebook at all. That is absolutely I know. They go, as a guidebook, let's have a look. Oh, Suzanne's dad liked the free biscuits in the cupboard. And there's people complaining, and they're going to be like, "There's no free biscuits in this cupboard."
We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh yeah.
I bought a fan to put in our room to drown out the sound of the mopeds. I've heard Wayne Rooney does the same thing with a vacuum cleaner. What? To drown out the sound of vacuum cleaners, or he puts a vacuum cleaner in his room to
if
drown
you've
out the
just got
sound
a
of the mopeds?
noise, if you've just got a noise that's constant, it makes you nod off, and it drowns out every other background noise. So all you've got is like, if it's a vac, it's just, and if that's constant for like all night, you just nod
People
off.
next door going, they've got their vacuum cleaner on again. Put on the JCB. People next door going, they've got the JCB on. Get the poke the chickens.
That's how nuclear wars start.
Yeah.
It works.
Doesn't work.
We watched...
Earplugs, drown out everything.
I've tried them. I didn't like it, did I?
Why not?
Because I could hear my heartbeat.
Oh, you're such a strange little creature. Oh.
We watched Jerry Maguire in Spanish. Suzanne wanted to go to bed, but I just said I wanted to hear the "show me the money" line in Spanish to see if it's as catchy. It wasn't. October 3rd.
Sorry, it's Portuguese or Spanish?
I don't know what they're speaking in this country.
Madeira.
So it's Spanish and Portuguese, is it?
It's Portuguese, isn't it?
I think there's a mix. I think you get people going on
Portuguese,
holiday.
I think.
Yeah, but you get Spanish people going there.
Oh, okay.
So they sometimes show television programmes for possible Spanish holiday makers. Is that what you're saying? Or have you just got this factually inaccurate because he's a load of old toss?
Oh, God. Amazing. Oh.
October 3rd. Didn't do much this morning. Just think about this. Just think about this.
Why would you put it in?
As a holiday. Just think about this next line.
Judith Chalmers. What happened? Not a lot.
Think about this, Rick, as a description of a holiday.
Right, okay.
Okay, as Karl said, he loves to go travelling. It broadens the mind and
Yeah.
everything. This is what he did. He's there with his family. He's in Madeira. Didn't do much this morning. Just sat by the pool, saving insects that flew into it.
I'm gonna die like fucking Noah. That's amazing. Nothing good.
How were you saving them? Did you wait for them to hit the water, then fish them out, or you grab them in the air?
Just see the legs going.
Oh, God.
Stuck my finger on the top. They grabbed on, lifted it off.
And what, when some sort of insect lifeguard, you'd see someone landing and you'd go, right, that's me, and you'd go in there.
But it's hard to turn a sort of a blind eye to stuff like that because you know that's something, you're witnessing death. And if you can save something, you do, don't you? You do your bit. And at night, I'd sort of think, have they learnt the lesson or will they be back and will they be dead in here tomorrow? But if they can get an extra day, I've done my bit. I can't do more than that. I'm on holiday, do your bit. I'm lucky enough to see the world, do your bit.
I love it.
I did my bit.
I love it. I love the fact that he was running around saving flies and things.
Is there something? There's something so sort of.
Meanwhile, an old lady drowned
Yeah.
while he was saving a beetle.
There's something so kind of, I don't know, desperately existential about your diary. That's what's so
Yeah,
extraordinary about
yeah.
it. As he says, I just sat by the pool saving insects that flew into it. It was full of death. It's just so,
God!
it's so depressing, isn't it?
Alright.
We walked round the shops. Suzanne's dad bought 2 packets of the biscuits he'd like to take back home with him. Suzanne's mam bought a tin of corned beef. It was a bit of a boring day today.
Jesus.
There was a dead bird out the back.
Oh, no. Where were you, Karl?
Suzanne's dad said it looked like it had flown into a wall and killed itself.
No, I think it caught a few insects, but they were covered in chlorine, so it poisoned it.
Loads of ants were eating it.
Oh, God.
I dug a hole under a tree and buried it. That ants were still all hanging around the scene of the death, ages after the burial. Suzanne's dad said I should have left the bird for the ants to eat because I was messing up the food chain. I felt bad, so I gave the ants some breadcrumbs.
This is weird.
This is just so
This is
dark.
really weird.
It's good bread out there, though, isn't it? I should have put that.
We have to eat all the food we've got because we're going home tomorrow. Suzanne's mam cut her finger opening the corned beef tin and fainted.
But sorry, this is really weird. Why do you have to eat all the food?
Isn't this like what's that film, the Amityville Horror, where there's like a haunted house and there's dead insects and ghostly children walking through the corridors, old people fainting, insects. I'm just saving the insects, mother.
But you always eat all the food that's in the fridge before you go home, don't you? It's all there to be eaten. She bought some pikelets, which I've never had them. They like squash crumpets.
Right, okay. Start again. Start the whole thing again. She bought some what?
Some pikelets.
Pikelets?
Yeah. And I didn't like them because they're not as fat as crumpets.
Oh, God! It's like a different
Didn't eat
language.
them, and it was a big upheaval because, like, I was going home and her dad kept trying to sneak them into our bags. Because he's like, they were for you, you take them. We don't
Smuggling.
want your stuff in our house. Because he gets a bit funny about stuff being left over. There's bins that you can't put certain stuff in. There's a bin in the lounge and I put a tangerine peel in it. He goes, that sort of stuff does not go in that bin. So it's rubbish, yeah, but it's not the right sort of rubbish.
Someone will camp next to it.
We want to get a better class of camper. Oh. That's the book. It's called Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish
Yeah, that's from one of the chapters in it.
by Karl Pilkington. Get that soon.
Particularly if you're thinking of visiting Madeira or Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. Thanks for listening to this. If you enjoyed this and you haven't heard the others, we've got the whole all 3 series on iTunes. You can go and download those.
The Ricky Gervais Show, is that what it's called?
It's called The Ricky Gervais Show. Yeah. Karl's also made a programme for me, Steve, on my Fame DVD, out in November. It's called Fame, so I thought of a little title. Fame, I'm Gonna Live Forever. Remember that guy we met who's gonna live forever?
Oh, yeah.
Called Howard?
Yeah.
That was a meeting of mine, and it's Karl meeting Howard, and it's
Got on with him.
It's really good, isn't it? It's really good, and he really gets on with him, and we're probably going to do a new series of the podcast maybe next year. What do you think, Karl? If you're not too busy making this film with Clive Warren,
We'll see how it goes.
Go-
Don't plan anything.
yeah, just check out rickygervais.com. I am Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl.
Right.